You start with what your why is. What's your ultimate drive for life? Well, if you're like me, I've been stuck on that so many times in my life when you just see so many individuals around you inspired. Well, today we're going to talk about how you can figure out your why. And if you stay until the end, I'll give you an extra special point for you then. So stick around for that. Know your why. This is a key thing in personal growth that I hear so many times. Like, you got to know your why, your reasons for doing what you do. And I think it's very, very true. You got to know your why. However, when we think of your why, particularly when we're in the personal growth world, we think it, we look at these leaders, these thought leaders, or even inspirational historical figures, and they've got this big drive of things like changing humanity, helping people overcome, a certain kind of trauma, maybe improving something as a certain thing in the world. But I'm wanting to be this huge historic figure, right? Who's made a difference in the world. And that's fantastic and great. Is it your why though? And this is a big challenge I've had. I was like thinking, right, I need to make an impact on the whole like mental health field. And then I was like, I need to transform self-esteem and confidence across the world. Or I need to help guys with their mental health, or I want to impact as many lives as possible and change people's lives. And I've been through so many of those saying those were my why because they sound great, right? Yeah, I figured out, if I'm being totally honest with you, those aren't my why, right? I love creating content and sharing messages, and it does do some of those things I just mentioned. It makes an impact on people's lives. And thank you so much if you've given me feedback of how this podcast has been useful, and I'll continue to make it because I love expressing myself and sharing things. Ultimately, though, I remember being on a speaking panel at a virtual event. And I realized I got into that position just because I was being me. I was being me in front of the camera, and someone recognized that, and that was great. And when the lead who was asking the questions, and she was a Tony Robbins speaker, she's Joseph McClendon's head coach, and then she asked me, what is my why and what's my magnet? I started talking about one of Joseph McClendon's other programs that I'd done. And talking about how I'd increase like magnetism rather than talking about my why. And then I realized I didn't really I was trying to think of what my answer would be for the why, and I didn't really have one. So I made some spiel because I wasn't being honest with myself. And your why is going to be a really, really strong driver for you. You've got to be honest though. And when I read in a sentence in Amy Porterfield, who is not necessarily a like Tony Robbins life coach or anything like, she's worked for Tony Robbins though. She's not necessarily from that whole field, this life coach or confidence coach or anything like that, trying to make a difference. She's a marketer. And for her, in her book, she wrote about your why has got to be your why. And it made me think about things so differently. And I've just reminded myself again recently, because my why right now is, I want to share content. I love sharing content. Ultimately, I like freedom. I love doing what I want to do. I love being able to give to people. And those are the things that really drive me. And I haven't necessarily got a big mission, life-changing statement. I just want to have the life that gives me some freedom, but I also get to express myself and share content with you. So I want to ask you this, like, and it's got to be a really strong driver. Don't say something that just sounds impressive to other people when you're thinking about why you're doing something. Like, people go to the gym. What is your why? Be really, really conscious about what your why is. It's going to be specific for you. How is it helping you saying you're doing something because of a certain reason and it's not really resonating with you? Because that's not going to drive you as much as being honest with yourself. So here are a few points to get going. Your first one, what do you want for you? And don't be guilty about sharing this. What do you want? Do you want more money so you can go on more holidays? Great. I want that. That's part of my why, right? Do you want to give to charity? Do you want to be able to have more time for yourself? What is it for you? What do you want? And then the second one, what is it you want for others? And you may be more driven by the things for you, and that's fine. It's not selfish, because by looking after you and giving you what you need, you're going to be a better example for others and being able to care for those around you as well. But the second one, what maybe do you want for other people? Like for me, when I earn money from my sales, I like to give to Great Ormond Street Hospital charity that helps some ill children. And that is a genuine why for me. There could be other charities which sound great, but it's not as close to my heart. Right. That's why some people are more attached to certain charities than others. Maybe it's not a charity for you, and that's absolutely fine. Maybe it's like looking after your kids if you've got kids. I don't have kids. Maybe it's looking after your parents, and that's a strong driver for me. Maybe your siblings or whatever. Right. What is it? How is your why connected to other people? And it may be less than what it is for you. And don't worry. And then the third point is considering those first two questions. What is it you want for you? What do you want for others? And the others can be like the general world as well. You may generally want to fix a problem in the world, and that's close to your heart, which is amazing. But the third point is being really honest with yourself. What is your why? Like, is it that you want to earn more money? Therefore, it's going to give you the opportunity to go on holiday, and maybe you also want to give that to your friends and family. Maybe it's you want to save someone's life because they're really, really ill. What is your why? You've got to be really, really honest with yourself, because saying things to impress other people is not going to make you happy. It's not going to make you fulfilled. Saying things like, I want to change, the way people see, I want to change like the body image challenges in the world, and you've gone into that as a business. That may genuinely be close to your heart, right? That's great, amazing. If you're just saying it because you think potentially, oh, this could make a good like business, and I could help a lot of people with it, is that really your why? I see so many people on social media like jumping into different businesses and opportunities because they're just like, there's the shiny object syndrome, which I've definitely been caught up in. There's this whole like, oh, this would be a good business. Oh, this would be a good idea. And you see people just hopping from thing to thing because they're not really driven. They're just doing something that sounds impressive. Yeah, if you're doing something and perhaps it isn't as exciting and lighting you up, but you're earning good money from it, and that's the reason that drives you, then maybe you just look at your why for making the money, right? It's good to obviously combine it with something you like as well, where possible. So I just want you to be really, really, and you may be in a career and that's absolutely fine and you love your career. Some people love working in a career. Some people love running their own business. Some people like commission-based roles, right? You've got to be honest with you. Right? Lots of people jumping on becoming a coach to see other people doing it. Do you honestly want to become a coach? Or you just saw it and thought it would be a good business idea? Because let me tell you, it's a very, very hard business, right? You've got to really have a strong why to do it, like with anything, okay? So just get really clear on your why. That's what I want to leave you with today. And my bonus tip for you is look at times back in your life when you were really driven to do something and think about your why then. What did that give you? Like, for me, I remember working really, really hard preparing for a job interview once, and I got it. And I'd been rejected by a lot. And my why in that moment was, I really want the opportunity to have a stable job, a new opportunity for growth in my career. Now, I didn't end up a year or so down the line enjoying that, but at the time I was really driven to do well. And that's what my drive was, to go for that job interview. And often we do have times where we've got such a strong why in our life, but we forget about them. And it's just natural. So look back in your life when you've got a really strong why. And then if there's an area in your life where perhaps you're not as driven, start asking yourself, what is your why? And if you really can't find anything, maybe that area of your life is not for you, right? So that's what I got for you. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.